everyone. Welcome to Clarity English Practice, the podcast where you can improve your English naturally, one conversation at a time. Whether you want better speaking, listening, or everyday vocabulary, you're in the right place.
Hi, everyone. I'm David, and I'm excited to practice English with you through fun, simple, and real-life conversations.
What if the secret to speak English fluently isn't spending hours with heavy grammar books every night, but changing what you do during the first 10 minutes after you open your eyes in the morning?
That sounds almost too simple to be true, but it works. When your mind is fresh, small morning habits to learn English can change how you think, listen, and speak for the rest of the day.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our practical English speaking practice session today. I'm Emily, and I'm joined by David. Today, we are sharing a morning routine to improve your English, Easy English podcast for conversation practice, because finding time for a daily English practice routine is something almost every language student struggles with. Many people tell us, Emily, David, I work 10 hours a day. I have a family, I have chores, and by 7 o'clock in the evening, my brain is completely fried. I cannot open a textbook and study grammar. And you know what? That is completely normal. Learning a language should not feel like a second job that exhausts you before your real day even starts.
Exactly, Emily. That is why we are focusing today on how you can learn English with real conversations. Improve your English listening right from your home. The morning is a very special, almost magic window for your brain. When you wake up, your mind is like a clean canvas. Before work stress, endless emails, social media notifications, or daily worries take over. If you feed your brain just a little bit of English in those peaceful first 30 to 60 minutes, your brain accepts it effortlessly. You don't have to force it.
That's right. Today, we're exploring my daily routine in English. Listen and learn real vocabulary. English podcast. Principles to give you practical, step-by-step habits that fit into your actual life. You don't need to wake up at 4 in the morning, and you definitely don't need to skip your iced coffee. Whether you are seeking English for beginners or moving into intermediate levels, you can do these things while making breakfast, brushing your teeth, or commuting on the train or in traffic.
I love that, Emily. Let's start right at the beginning, the moment that obnoxious alarm goes off. What is the very first thing most people do, and how can an English learner turn that habit around?
Most people reach for their phone and immediately start doom scrolling through news or social media in their native language. The second you do that, your brain locks into default mode in your mother tongue. Once your brain gets flooded with your first language, it becomes 10 times harder later in the day to think in English without translating.
So what should a B1 intermediate English learner do instead during those first 30 seconds under the cozy blankets?
Before you even throw off the covers, try to have your very first thought of the day in English. It doesn't have to be a Shakespearean masterpiece or complex grammar. It can be super simple. Look at the window and tell yourself, today is Tuesday. The weather looks a bit cloudy. I need to get up and make tea. That simple exercise takes less than 5 seconds, but it sends a powerful signal to your brain that English is alive and active today.
That trick is so simple, but psychologically brilliant. You're basically waking up your English muscle before any other language takes over. I know so many students who tell me, David, when I try to speak English naturally, I immediately translate from my native language in my head. How can someone break free from translating word for word?
Translation happens because we hesitate and get scared of making mistakes. We try to hunt for the perfect word before we allow ourselves to speak. But in the early morning, nobody is judging you. You're alone in your room. Perfection doesn't matter at all. If you can't remember the word for blanket or curtains, don't panic and search a dictionary app right then. Just use English for daily life. Say, I am warm under this bed covering. I will open the glass now. The whole goal in the morning is flow, not perfection.
Exactly. Flow builds confidence, and confidence creates real fluency. That brings us to another beautiful part of the morning. A quiet morning can change your day. Easy English Podcast for Conversation Practice B1 is a phrase many successful learners live by. Because when the world around you is quiet, your brain absorbs spoken sounds far better than during the noisy, chaotic rush of the afternoon.
I love that concept, David. A quiet morning can change your day. It completely sets the mood for everything that follows. When you start your day grounded and focused, instead of rushing around in panic, your B1 English listening comprehension improves dramatically. Why do you think listening to an easy English podcast in the morning feels so much smoother for learners than listening at night?
Brain drain. Cognitive fatigue is real. By 8 o'clock at night, your brain has made thousands of decisions. Trying to decipher fast English at night feels like running a marathon with heavy weights strapped to your feet. But in the morning, your ears are fresh, and your brain acts like a dry sponge. Even if you are just doing passive English listening while waiting for the kettle or making your morning breakfast, your brain is quietly absorbing rhythm, intonation, and natural phrase structures.
Let's clear up passive versus active listening, because learners often feel guilty about this. They think, if I'm not sitting rigidly at a desk with a highlighter, notebook, and dictionary, it doesn't count as real learning. Is that true, David?
Not at all, Emily. Passive listening is actually a massive secret weapon for how to learn English fast. Think about how kids learn their native language. They don't sit in chairs taking notes at 2 years old. They listen to people talk while playing with toys, eating cereal, and putting on shoes. When you play an easy English podcast for Conversation Practice B1 in the background while making coffee, your brain is secretly working. It maps acoustic patterns, recognizes phrase combinations, and gets comfortable with real-world speech pacing to improve English listening.
Plus, you can supercharge passive listening with just 60 seconds of active habit without losing any time. While your coffee is dripping or your bread is in the toaster, try the shadowing technique for English speaking. David, break down shadowing for anyone who hasn't tried it yet.
Shadowing is hands down one of the fastest ways to level up your English pronunciation practice and speaking speed. It's simple. As you listen to an English conversation podcast, you repeat the words out loud immediately after the speaker says them. Don't pause the track. Speak right along with or just a fraction of a second behind the speaker, mimicking their accent, cadence, and emotion.
Exactly. It's like singing along to your favorite song in the car. You aren't overanalyzing grammar or stressing over vocabulary. You're just catching the groove. Shadowing just 2 or 3 sentences while waiting for your breakfast trains your mouth muscles in English before your day even starts.
And those mouth muscles are so important. Building natural English-speaking fluency requires actual physical muscle memory. The way your tongue, lips, and jaw move for English is completely different from Spanish, French, Arabic, Turkish, or Japanese. If you don't warm up those muscles daily, speaking feels stiff and awkward when you suddenly need to talk to someone.
Which brings us to another favorite habit of mine, the running commentary habit. It's incredible for building everyday English vocabulary. David, how does someone do a running commentary in their normal routine?
You basically become the main character and narrator of your own morning routine. You talk out loud in simple English, describing what you're doing as if you're explaining it to a close friend. For instance, walking into the kitchen, you say, "Okay, opening the fridge now. Need milk and butter. Where's the milk? Top shelf. Pouring it into my mug now."
It sounds a little silly at first, but it works like magic for improving English speaking confidence. Why? Because you are directly attaching English words to real physical objects and actions in your environment without translating. You look at the mug, you feel the cold milk container, and you say, pour. That direct mental bridge is how true fluency is built.
But wait, Emily, what if you live with family, roommates, or a partner? Standing in the kitchen talking out loud to yourself in English might get you some very funny looks.
totally valid. If you don't want your roommates thinking you've completely lost it, 2 easy solutions. First, whisper. Whispering still flexes your speech muscles and vocal cords without making a sound. Second, if whispering is still too loud, do a focused internal commentary in your mind. But whenever you find yourself alone, like getting dressed or taking a warm shower, go all out. The shower is literally the ultimate judgment-free studio for daily English speaking practice.
I love shower practice. Great acoustics, water noise hides your voice, and you can talk as loud as you want. Practice talking about your daily routine while shampooing your hair. Okay, got a big meeting at 10, need to polish that deck by noon, maybe grabbing tacos for lunch if it doesn't rain?
That leads right into micro-reading, which is another essential piece of a B1 English morning routine. David, why is micro-reading so much better for busy people than trying to read long book chapters?
Micro-reading means consuming tiny bites of English, a short paragraph, an inspiring quote, or a quick social post, taking just 2 minutes. So many learners set massive goals, like, I'm reading 20 pages of a novel every morning. Day 1 is great. Day 2 is hard. By day 3, they burn out and quit.
Exactly. Small daily steps beat huge occasional efforts every single time when building habits to learn English naturally. Reading 1 short paragraph every morning for 6 months will do 100 times more for your fluency than reading 20 pages once a month. You get to notice how words connect naturally, pick up cool phrasal verbs, and learn authentic English expressions for intermediate learners.
What if you run into a word you don't recognize during micro-reading, Emily? Should you stop, pull out a massive dictionary, and write down 5 definitions?
No way! Stopping constantly destroys your reading flow and makes it feel like homework. My rule for B1 English reading practice is simple. If you get the overall idea of the sentence, keep moving. If a word shows up multiple times or seems crucial, stick it on a sticky note and look it up later over lunch. Don't break your morning momentum.
Keeping that momentum is key. Now, let's dive into another game changer that takes under 3 minutes, English journaling for beginners and intermediate learners.
People hear journaling and picture writing deep philosophical essays in leather books. But morning journaling for learning English through podcast and conversation is quick, crisp, and functional. All you need is a simple notebook on a nightstand or desk.
What's the secret 3-sentence formula for daily English sentence construction?
It's super simple. Sentence 1. How do you feel right now? I'm a little tired, but excited for my morning coffee. Sentence 2. What's your main priority today? I need to finish my work project before 3 p.m. Sentence 3. What's something positive you're looking forward to? I can't wait to catch up with my friend after work.
That's so clean and relatable. You're using essential English grammar for B1 level, natural tenses, and real-life verbs. Doing this daily means writing 90 personal, practical sentences every single month.
And because those sentences reflect your actual life, you remember them effortlessly. The next time you're in a real English conversation practice setting and someone asks, "Hey, how's your day going?" or "Got any fun plans?" your brain instantly pulls up those exact sentence patterns without hesitation. That is real practical power. Now, David, let me ask about the giant elephant in the room. Cold mornings, low energy, zero English learning motivation, and that dangerous snooze button calling your name. How do you stick to this when you just don't feel like it?
Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like good weather. Some days you feel like a superstar. Other days you wake up exhausted and cranky. The secret isn't forcing willpower, it's smart system design for your morning routine to improve your English.
What does system design look like in real life?
It means eliminating all friction, so English is the easiest, most effortless option in your room. If you want to listen to an easy English podcast B1, don't spend 10 minutes hunting for your earbuds or scrolling for an episode in the morning. Cue up the episode the night before. Leave your headphones right next to your phone on your nightstand. Alarm goes off, you tap play, put the earbuds in, zero thinking required.
Make the good habit frictionless and effortless. Do the same with journaling. Leave your notebook open on the kitchen counter with a pen sitting right on top. When you sit down with your coffee, it's sitting right there waiting for you.
Exactly. And when you're doing B1 English conversation practice, start smaller than you think you need to. If 5 minutes feels daunting on a tough morning, do 2 minutes, or even just one sentence while your tea steeps. Hitting a tiny win builds momentum, and taking that first step is always 90% of the battle.
That's the power of step-by-step English learning. Celebrate those small wins. Fluency isn't an overnight sprint. It's a marathon made of tiny daily show-ups.
Let's quickly recap our dream morning routine so you can see how easily it all flows together.
Step 1, wake up and have your very first thought in English right in bed. No translating.
Step 2, hit play on a soothing, slow English podcast for intermediate learners while brushing your teeth or making breakfast.
Step 3, be the narrator of your morning with a quick running commentary in the kitchen or shower.
Step 4, take 2 minutes for micro reading over coffee, focusing on natural flow.
Step 5, write 3 quick sentences in your English morning journal about your mood, your main task, and something fun ahead.
That whole routine adds 0 extra hours to your packed day because you're doing it during stuff you already do anyway. It's the ultimate way to improve spoken English at home.
Stick with this for 2 to 3 weeks and you'll be amazed at how fast your confidence, speed, and listening skill take off. English stops feeling like a scary subject and becomes part of your everyday vibe.
Absolutely. We hope you loved hanging out with us today. If this gave you a spark of inspiration, smash that like button. Share this with a friend who needs a morning mindset boost, and hit subscribe so you never miss our next easy English podcast for conversation practice B1 lessons. Drop a comment below right now and tell us what's one tiny habit you're adding to your morning tomorrow. We're hanging out in the comments and replying to everyone.
Thanks for spending your morning with us. Stay consistent, be kind to yourself, and keep tuning in to Clarity English Practice for your daily dose of real English conversations. Now, go grab that coffee and crush your day.